Did you know that choosing the wrong topics for your posts on Instagram could be the reason that you're not getting the views that you want to right now, or maybe that you're seeing a decrease in the amount of views that you're getting, or maybe you didn't realize that using the wrong hashtags can do the same exact thing, but those two things are small stakes compared to the 4 other outdated Instagram tips for 2024 that I'm going to be sharing with you in this video, because if you're still using these outdated tips, it's the reason you're not getting the views or the followers that you want to right now. And once you stop making these mistakes, you're gonna see massive growth. In fact, this creator literally just went from making these mistakes, struggling to grow, to stop making them, gaining over 500,000 followers. And this creator was able to do the same thing, except they gained over 70,000 followers. And best of all, they were able to quit their 9-to-5 job to go full-time on Instagram simply by avoiding these mistakes. So when it comes to choosing the right topics or the right hashtags on Instagram, there are a few different rules that you want to make sure that you're following. First, let's talk about topics. You need to make sure that you're choosing 2 to 3 topics that are most relevant to whatever you're posting about. The worst thing that you could possibly do is choose an irrelevant topic. So if there isn't anything that's super relevant to the post that you're doing, I would recommend that you just skip this. Otherwise, you want to be choosing 2 to 3 that are highly relevant, because if you choose one that's irrelevant, guess what's going to happen? Instagram's going to show your content to the wrong people, and then as a result, they're not going to watch your videos, they're not going to replay your videos, and they're not going to engage with your posts the way that Instagram wants you to. And then as a result, boom, you end up getting less views and end up getting less followers, and this kills your growth on Instagram in 2024. But that's not the only thing, because you also need to make sure that you're adjusting your hashtag strategies. First and foremost, you should not be using any small hashtags on Instagram in 2024. Secondly, you shouldn't be using any banned hashtags. And if you want to figure out if the hashtags you're using are banned, go to this link right here and it will tell you whether or not the hashtags you're choosing are banned. And then third, you need to make sure that you're adapting to the latest Instagram hashtag strategies. The first one is going to be 2 to 3 hashtags. The second is going to be 5 to 6 hashtags, with 25% of them being broad and 75% of them being niche specific. The third hashtag strategy is 11 to 12 hashtags. And then finally, the best hashtag strategy that makes the most posts go viral right now is going to be 7 to 8 hashtags. And remember, 25% of those should be broad, things like hashtag trending, hashtag explore feed, hashtag reels, and 75% of them need to be specific to whatever you're posting about, but ideally the largest hashtags that are specific and not irrelevant to that post. But that's not the only thing you need to change. You also need to make sure that you stop saying link in bio in your post. If you say link in bio, you're gonna get 50 to 70% less views than you should have gotten. So if you were gonna get 100,000 views, now you're only gonna get 30,000 views. Or you might, even worse, get less views than that, because you need to understand something. When you tell people to go to the link in your bio on Instagram, that signals to Instagram that they are going to leave Instagram, and then as a result, guess what happens? Instagram doesn't make any more money for them, so they wanna shut those posts down. Instead, what you should be doing is using something like today's video sponsor, ManyChat. ManyChat allows you to increase the amount of money that you're making from Instagram right now, because instead of saying go to the link in the bio, instead what you could do is say to comment a certain keyword below, and then guess what ends up happening? They go and comment that keyword, and then ManyChat sends them an automated DM with the link that you wanted them to go to. And this does a few things. 1, it starts a conversation with your audience. 2, it 5x's the amount of engagement that you're getting. In fact, this creator just used it to get millions of views on this post, but more importantly, get thousands of leads from this post, and you can do the same thing. And best of all, it's not going to hurt your engagement, it's actually going to help your engagement. And the best part about this is if you go to the pinned comment below, you can get signed up with ManyChat today for 30 days for free. In fact, creators that use ManyChat on average see 5x increase in the amount of engagement that they're getting on Instagram. So not only is ManyChat gonna help you increase the amount of money that you make by you getting more leads and getting more people to go to the link that you want them to, it's also going to increase the amount of engagement that you get. And the best part about ManyChat is that they're a Meta approved partner. So you don't have to worry about any of this increased engagement being fake or anything like that, because a lot of tools out there, you do have to worry with that. So what are you waiting for? If you wanna make more money from Instagram, you wanna skyrocket your engagement, go to that pinned comment below and register for a 30-day free trial with ManyChat today. Now, there are 2 other myths that I keep hearing over and over again that I need to make sure that you're not paying attention to right now. The first one is that likes and saves really matter on Instagram in 2024, and this couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, how many views you get, how many followers you get, how much reach you get has absolutely nothing to do with how many likes you get or how many saves you get. Those 2 metrics mattered years ago. They don't matter anymore on Instagram. Now, instead, what matters on Instagram today is 1, the amount of audience retention that you're getting. Recently, Instagram released these these audience retention graphs right here, and what they show you is when people are leaving your video. So what do you think you need to do given this new information? You need to make sure that people aren't leaving your video, and you need to make sure that you're looking at these retention graphs to be able to determine why people are leaving your video. For example, if you see a dip in the beginning of the video, it's because you didn't have a good hook in your piece of content and people weren't that interested or interested enough to keep watching it. If you see a hook at the end of the video, it means that they thought the video was over and that they weren't getting any more value from it, so you need to get rid of that part. And if you see dips randomly throughout the middle of your video, that either one, means that you said something your audience didn't like and that they started leaving, or two, they started to get bored, so you might have been using language that was too complex, or you weren't adding B-roll, or your story that you were telling just wasn't interesting enough, and that's why people started leaving. The second metric that really matters, and again, this is a new metric that Instagram has just released, are the amount of replays that you're getting in your content. This is going to be one of the most important metrics on Instagram in 2024 because they want to prioritize content that people watch multiple times. And there are 3 ways to do this. 1, create a really short video. 2, have a really long description so people are reading the description and aren't actually watching the video, so the video loops in the background. Or 3, getting people to go to that comment section, engaging in there while again the video is looping in the background. And this skyrockets the amount of replays that you get, and ultimately is a really good signal to Instagram that they need to push out your content. And this brings us to the most important metric that you need to be paying attention to, and that are shares. In fact, 1 share typically equals 400 extra views on Instagram, so you need to be optimizing for how many shares that you're getting, and ideally you should be getting 70% of people that like that piece of content to share that piece of content. If you're able to do that, your post is going to go viral, you're going to skyrocket your views, you're going to get more followers, and so many more new faces are going to find out about you. Which brings me to the last and most important thing that you need to make sure that you're doing on Instagram, which is actually posting enough. And this is up to huge debate, how many times you should post a day, or if you should even post every day. But before I dive into that, I did want to make sure that you're not promoting your posts on Instagram right now. I would strongly suggest you do not promote your posts. This is not going to help you organically. Instead, what you could do is if you have a post do really, really well, you could turn that post into an ad if you're trying to sell something, or just if you're trying to get more followers or get more brand awareness. But I wouldn't just promote posts that do poorly on Instagram, because the reason that they did poorly is nobody was interested in it and it was a bad post or a bad video. Instead, you should be turning your viral posts or above average posts into ads, and not just turning everything into an ad, because it's kind of cheating and it's not going to help you get more organic reach on Instagram. Getting more views on Instagram, getting more sales on Instagram, getting more followers on Instagram should be free, and you shouldn't have to pay for it so long as you're posting enough. Now, ideally, you should be posting every single day on Instagram, and there's 2 good reasons for this. 1, it's going to make you a way better creator. How good would Michael Jordan have been at basketball if he didn't practice every single day? Well, guess what? He probably wouldn't have been that good. And the same thing's going to go for you as a creator. You need to be practicing creating content, practicing editing, practicing scripting out videos, practicing writing descriptions every single day. If you're not doing these things, you're not actually going to get better at creating content. And on top of that, the more frequently you post on Instagram, the more followers you're going to get. And there have been thousands of studies that actually prove this out. So ideally, I would be posting 1 time a day, or at a maximum 3 times a day. I wouldn't post more than 3 times a day, because then you'll just be spamming your followers and not actually providing them with any value. All of that being said, the Instagram algorithm has recently changed for 2024, which is exactly why I strongly suggest you check out this video right here, which is going to tell you the best practices when it comes to this current algorithm. Because if you don't want the algorithm to hate you, you need to be doing those things. What are you waiting for? I'll see you over there.